Hello community, I hope this video finds you well. Uh, for this week's video, I'd like to talk a little bit about how to expand our minds. And why I'm choosing this topic is because as of late especially, I've become aware of myself and what I've seen in my private practice and in some of my classes, and that is the gradual sneaky kind of buildup that's been happening because we have all been sustaining these pandemic situations and sustaining, I call it sustained abuse, because that's what I really feel that it is, because we are all living in such a high degree of uncertainty and fear, and it's been lasting now much longer than any of us have ever expected. So what happens um, when we sustain and we get conditioned, because that's basically what's been happening. We're all being very resilient. We're all trying to deal with the current situations and go on with our daily lives and stay in our relationships and try to maintain some sort of normalcy or some sort of sense of our identity, even though there are so many changes that are happening and still happening. So what happens is that the mind tends to try to survive, right? And we go into a much more narrow view, a much more narrow perspective inside our minds. And so I really wanted to talk I really wanted to talk about that this week because I've been seeing it a lot, and I've been catching myself as well, getting into this very narrow viewpoint, or almost like the habit of going into a negative space because we have been in such a collective field of fear and negativity. So, in order to bring awareness to this so that we can sort of wake ourselves up, that yes, these situations that are going on in the world with the pandemic are truly horrible. It's terrible. But however, life is going on. And how do we stay innovating? How do we stay in that innovative, creative space? And I know this is why a lot of us meditate, and it's fantastic. And meditation is wonderful for expanding our minds and to opening up new neural pathways. But there are two other ways, and I'm sure there are many other ways, but two ways that I actually love is one with the body, and that is creative, innovative, biomorphic type of movement where we just sort of allow ourselves to move. We soften into the fluid system, we soften into our bodies, and we just allow our eyes to close. And as we move into our somas, we try to connect to those impulses that are inside of us in order to awaken the body's intelligence, going in through the sensory system, not the intellectual system, going in through the tissue. And an easy way to access this is to allow our minds to rest in the back brain, which is where we ignite the animal intelligence that lives within. And as we do this, we then just follow those impulses on movement. Inside every movement is a thought. And so I can't really have new thoughts if I don't move in new and different and creative ways, ways that I may not even have been aware of. Maybe we're all so used to following directions and we simply just turn off that innovative, creative side to ourselves. And when we go to move, we just follow directions. But magic can happen when we don't do that, when we just allow ourselves to move in a way that comes from the impulses from within. And I know I spoke about my personal experience last week on this type of movement, and if you haven't gotten a chance to listen to that, it might give you a little bit more insight into the possibilities that are there when we do this biomorphic movement. But the second way that I'd like to share with you is a very fun, exploratory. Actually, they're both very fun and exploratory and easy ways. But this is a writing exercise. And some of us, it resonates more with the writing. So to keep a desire journal, and that's different than a gratitude journal. A desire journal is that we just sit and we maybe make a little pact with ourselves that we'll write 1 to 3 different desires a day or every time I want to sit with myself. But the idea is not to create a desire with the intention or pressure that you have to create, that you have to manifest it. It's just the pure exercise of allowing our mind to expand into ways and possibilities that may not even be possible, that we know of in this lifetime. They could be big, they could be small, fun, exploratory, just to let the mind open up and to just imagine if someone gave me 3 desires, what would they be? Would it be a warm cup of tea with warm fuzzy slippers and just allow ourselves to sink into it? Would the desire be to be able to have as much chocolate as we wanted? Have fun with it, but just to let the mind expand into ways that maybe you've never thought before. And to catch those fleeting, random, creative thoughts, because there is no pressure to try to manifest these desires. I mean, maybe you will manifest some of them, and that's fantastic. But to not sit down with that intention, to release that pressure and that expectation. It's just creative writing. It's just fun and it's simple. What is my desire today? So I hope this helps, and I'd love to hear your feedback as always. And I'm wishing you a beautiful week. Bye.